Today I'm going to share the most supernatural thing that's ever happened to me in my finances. This is the story of when I first started tithing and exactly what happened. I was 20 years old when I first started tithing. My wife gave the finances to me. I talk about that in my first video. My spending was out of control, so she handed it over and said, if you're going to spend like this, you're going to control the finances. So I did, and I started learning. And about that same time is whenever I had the revelation to start tithing. I think I was listening to an audiobook or a sermon or something, and I had always thought I would give whenever I had the money, and it hit me that I need to give now to have the money if I want financial freedom. Whether you believe that means tithing rebukes the devourer, like the Bible says, or if you just believe in the given you shall receive as a universal principle, which I believe it is as well. It was that giving that changed our finances completely, and I'm sure of it. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kalen Bruce. I'm the founder of Freedom Sprout, where we talk about raising intentional children and living intentional lives. If that interests you, please hit the subscribe button below. Also, Merry Christmas. Today's Christmas. We are in Italy. We're going to do Christmas here, and then we're going to go back to the States to do Christmas with family in a couple months, and then we're going to move to Japan for a while. So like I said, I was terrible with money. Wife gave me the finances. I had the revelation to start giving. She had the revelation before, but she was waiting on me to have it because I was controlling the finances now. So I decided to cut the first check. We started giving 10%. I don't necessarily believe that 10% is what you should give as a Christian. I don't necessarily believe that the tithe applies to Christians. I'll link an article below that I wrote about that, but I do believe 10% is a good starting place and it's a good base. So that's why I use the word tithing, but really it's been replaced with generous giving in the New Testament. Again, article below, check that out. So when we cut the first tithe check for 10% of our income, I was afraid it wasn't going to work out. I didn't have complete faith in it. I know God tells us to test him in this, and that's what I was doing, but I still wasn't completely sold. And I didn't know how we were going to pay the bills without giving 10%. And now we were giving, so that's just another bill as far as I saw it. But that's when God showed up in a blatant and obvious way. 2 weeks after I cut that first check, I was in Arby's with my wife and my daughter. We just had one child at the time. And I'm sure I looked clueless and I had no idea what I was doing. I was stressed out. I was nervous, especially over the finances, but just about trying to be a father and try to figure out how all this works. And a man came in. And he pulled me to the side and he said, hey, I'm a truck driver. I usually don't take this route. We were in Arkansas at the time. He's like, I usually don't come through here. I don't go this route. I go around. I have a different route, but I'm also a man of God. And I felt God telling me to take this route. And I didn't know why. And then whenever I saw the Arby's, I felt God telling me to stop at this Arby's. And then whenever I saw you and your family, I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. He pulled $100 out of his wallet. He gave it to me and said, the Lord wants you to know that everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out. He didn't know what that meant. He didn't know how it applied to me. I started getting teary-eyed because it hit me really hard because of how supernatural it all was. He didn't even eat at Arby's. I mean, I would have bought him lunch or something. I'm sure I was just so dumbfounded that I was just like, I'm pretty sure I said thank you, but if not, I hope he knows that I appreciated it because he taught me one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned, that God is in control, and especially of my finances. And that was the day I was able to kind of give my finances over to God. So most people believe in the given you shall receive mindset. Some call it God, some call it karma, some call it other things. You reap what you sow. But I believe that that man was there to show me that it was God. It was the God of the Bible, the Christian God, that wanted to give me that money and tell me that everything was going to be okay. It's not about the money. It's not about getting rich. It's not about health, wealth, and prosperity gospel. It's about being free financially. And that $100 led me to trust God, to keep going, to ultimately pay off all of our debt, to be in the financial situation we're in today, which is leaps and bounds of where I was 13 years ago whenever that guy stopped me in the Arby's. We've had other supernatural stories of giving since. I'll share some of those later. I'm going to make some videos about those. Whenever there was a building fund at a church one time, I had an amount in mind. My wife had an amount in mind. Hers had an extra zero on the end of it, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to do that. We did it. It worked out. I'll share that video later. But since we started giving, since we started tithing, we've given at least 10%. Now we try to give a lot more, but we've given at least 10%, and our finances have completely changed. I really believe that was the day that our finances changed. And now we give more and more, and we're able to give so much because of that initial trust that I had in God. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. He gave me $100, told me everything was going to be okay. He told me that God said everything was going to be okay. He was a man of God, and blew my mind. So that's my story. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, please subscribe so that I can keep growing this channel and keep making videos like this. Check out my new book, Intentional Children. I will link that below. And that's all for today. I will see you next week.